Can't hear it.
How big's that baby?
I can't turn it up.
Put your mic next to the speaker.
Can look after himself as well as any 3-year-old. He's in perfect health too. Examined by the doctor every day, just to see that there's no fear of his first year.
Looks like a grown man. Looks like that guy from Laurel and Hardy. Just shorter.
His body is too heavy for his legs.
Aww.
Oh, I feel sad. Feel sorry for him.
I know.
It's a little aggressive. That would be aggressive.
Yeah.
Probably like not super happy. Can you imagine him throwing a fit?
I bet he did a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you got to figure that kid is in his 60s or 70s or more now, actually.
They're like, come get the candy bar.
Good boy. I wonder I got that big.
It sounds like Mystery Science Theater. He's winking. He winks at you.
1,000 Questions is an entertaining discussion of marriage. We aren't telling you to do or feel or change anything about your life. Really, just listen and enjoy. And if you need real help, find a professional for your specific problem. We don't know you. How could we speak to your deal? Okay, have fun.
Welcome everybody. Wait, I want to stop sharing this. This is for later. This is good parenting advice from the 1900s up to now. That's for later. But now we're welcoming everybody to 1,000 Marriage Questions. We all look tired. Donna, you look way tired. Joe,
that's
you look
nice thing to say to a woman. That's the nicest thing you can say to somebody, Brad. For God's sakes, have you no tact?
like she's been working very hard for her family for the past
She has
week.
been working very hard for her family. But I think she looks just fresh and ready to go and just wonderful as always.
I need brighter lipstick.
You need brighter lipstick. You look great. You just look a little like you've been doing a lot with the family and getting a lot. You've been doing all the cooking. It's like as you mentioned, SNL Robe, talk about parenting when you've got dad and the kids who are basically getting every present in the world, and mom gets a robe and then has to make breakfast. Is that true, Donna?
Yes, it is. Yes.
It's, we saw that skit on Saturday Night Live, my wife and I did, and I looked over to her and I was like, because that's kind of how it is. You know what I mean? And I thought, oh my God, this is just like our house. How do they know that we're just like this? And apparently it hit a chord because there's a lot of families just like that.
Oh, I think we grew up like that. My mom got nothing, I can't think, and liked it, and then had to do everything. I mean, and still does. My mom's 81 and basically gets 3 gifts total, and she's still spending $32,000 on kids and grandkids that are in their 60s. I mean, it's not even people in their 60s still running in the house to get the gifts. Oh my God. I think up until our late 40s, we were even all staying in her house, and we would get up at like 6 a.m. and all wait upstairs and she set everything up into our late 40s coming down. Just like we did growing up. So
she did not get to retire.
And she never will. She's never going to retire. Still 81. She is still in charge of everything. And I think she likes it that way.
Yeah. Well, I remember our kids having to tell my wife when they were like out of high school, hey, we don't need to look for Easter eggs this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Well,
look.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of funny thing about Easter is at my house, my mom was such a great hider. She refused to do it easy. She would, because she would hide baskets, Easter baskets growing up. And we would be looking for like 5 hours. There was stuff we couldn't even find because she just could not hide them easy. She couldn't go behind a chair. There was one where she took, remember when McDonald's used to have these bags this big, paper bags, meals for, she took an old McDonald's bag we had for dinner the night over, had planned this the night before, had this old man, had set it at the trash, put a thing in it, covered it in trash. And that's where one of the baskets was. She was devious.
That's above and beyond the Call of Duty right there. Yeah.
Well, how did we get on this? Hey, welcome everybody.
Saying I look tired. That's how we.
You look tired, Joe. You look a little red, like you're smoking a little dope. That's okay. It's kind of the future, and you're frozen now. Is Joe just frozen? Why is he?
Yeah, it's been a long weekend. Is it still the weekend? I can't recall. Yeah.
How did Joe get the title, the designated humorist? Does that mean like you're the drunken humorist and he's the designated?
I'm the drunken humorist. I'm the drug humorist, and he's the designated.
You know what? I should have put that. I should have put guest humorist is what I should have put.
Guest humorist.
No, it doesn't really
but
matter.
Designated sounds so much more designated.
You can tell we've been off because this show is just getting really
it's off to a bad start.
Going. It's really bad start.
We didn't hear the audio.
We didn't get a question or anything,
baby, or whatever.
I know we've got lots of questions sitting here. We got everything, and
that's what the show's about. Yeah.
Well, when you saw the fat baby, I wanted to show the big baby thing to just because today we do a quiz on parenting later, how parenting has changed over the so many years, and that to think of having a baby that big and being proud of it. Not trying to do anything to make your baby healthier or stuff like that, but being like, yep, this is the baby. And we're just going to keep giving Augustus more chocolate. Matter of fact, we're going to hang it over a thing and make him climb up to get the chocolate and make him do this. I mean, just.
My dear, we'll probably get on the newsreel with this baby.
Okay, so welcome everybody. So I do have a question. This is not the question we ended with because I can't remember what that was. I didn't go back and look and I can't find it. So we'll do that next time. But here we go. And this one comes up all the time and it still is a quandary how people don't get it. How do you get your significant other to do their own laundry in under a week? How do you get your significant other to do their own laundry in under a week? Donna, I'm just going to you. And you're going to tell us when you have people come in and talk about who's doing and not doing the laundry, how do you tell them to stop fighting about it?
Well, how do you get your significant other to do their laundry in less than a week? So that's like two big expectations. One, how do you get them to do their laundry?
Yeah, that's number one.
Under a week, that's a lot to ask. So ask one of them. I'd be like, one of them I'd say you can get them to do just by not doing their laundry. And if it stays longer than a week, I say throw it away.
Throw their laundry away?
Wait, what? Throw it away.
Throw it away?
If it's on the floor after a week, throw it away. If it's in the basket and it's overflowing, throw it away. I'll just throw it away. So
that's crazy.
That's nuts. That's a little extreme there. Boy, I'd hate to live in your household.
I would warn them ahead of time. I would say, FYI, if that's still there in a week, I'm throwing it away. Because obviously you don't want it that bad. So,
well, here's the first issue is you should be doing your own laundry. Anyway, if you don't, then it doesn't get clean. So number one, don't do their laundry for them. I think.
Have you guys always done your own laundry?
Yeah, we always do.
Always?
No, I mean together we do. I mean, sometimes if it needs to be done, it gets done. Sometimes we do it together. Sometimes it's one of us. Sometimes it's the other one. But it gets done typically on Sundays. So
that's not like you have to do your laundry and she has to do her laundry.
No, we just throw it in a big hamper.
Right. And then it gets done because someone is there when it's full and you get it done.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's the common thing that people do, but whoever this is that's asking a question separates laundry.
They keep their laundry. His and her laundry are different things at all times. Although first ask me when I started doing my own laundry.
When did you start doing your own laundry, Brad?
That's a really invasive question. Really? How can you answer that? College.
That's a good,
I did not do a load of laundry or knew how until college. And I didn't even think it was till my sophomore year. So because my freshman year, I drove home almost every weekend because I had this really big car.
Yeah.
And I could fit like 10 people, and I charged people $25 a piece. And I drove back and forth every weekend because I could make like $150 driving people back in my 73 Lincoln. So sophomore year, and I did not know how to do. I did a lot of pink loads of white stuff.
Yeah.
I did a lot of stuff where I didn't, and I finally had to like ask how the hell you do laundry. Now, these days, Janet does 99.9% of all the laundry. And one of the main reasons is she tells me I suck at it and that I'm bad at it. And even when I do it right, I do it wrong. So we have it's separate jobs.
See, that's the thing about guys. I mean, it's one of the things that's in the guy handbook is the first time that you have to do laundry for both of you, make sure you shrink one of her sweaters. Then you won't have to do laundry.
You won't have to do it again.
Well, that's nice.
But it is much more specific than that. There are things that can only be dried for a certain amount of time. And there are things that you have to take out of the laundry that can't be dried. You have to separate the wash after it's been washed from what can go in the dryer and what can't go in the dryer. And I just throw stuff in the washer, cold or hot or warm, and then throw it in the dryer. You can't do that. So since she has such specific needs, then it's easier for me. Now, if she tells me go move the washer to the dryer,
well,
that's one thing. I can do that because I know I can't screw that up.
Let me ask another thing though. This question is very odd because how can you get your spouse to do their laundry? It's like, okay, if you've separated it, then why would it matter? It's like if you're doing your own laundry and you're taking care of yourself, then let them figure it out, right? Why would it
turn into a hoarder closet or something? You can get like where now you got rats in there because of the laundry.
Yeah, I mean, if that's a problem, then you're right, Donna. Just start throwing it away. Say, oh, this stuff, you obviously don't care about it. You've just dropped it on the floor, so I was going to throw it away. I get that.
I think this is about control. I think this is somebody who's made it a point to prove they can, like, that laundry. You're going to do your laundry. It's over there, and you're going to do it within a week. And it's still sitting there. And the other person, now I'm not doing that line, blah, blah, blah. And it becomes about control and less about laundry.
Possible, especially since there's a time limit on it. I don't know what that time limit thing is. The weirdest deal. Sometimes I don't need clothes for a week. Sometimes I'll go a week and a half or 2 weeks because I've got plenty of clothes. And it's just, I don't want to do a load that's only half full, especially during quarantine. I've been wearing the same underwear for like a month and a half. I'm joking. I'm not wearing any underwear. But anyway, the point is that, you're right, Brad. That may be a control thing because somebody, a very specific 1 week time limit.
Yeah, it was a little much.
Yeah, controlling. Okay, great. Next question: why are men after you get married don't share the bills anymore? Wait a minute. I read this one. No, I read it wrong. Oh my God. That doesn't say bills. Can you see that?
No, that might mean bill.
No.
I don't. It doesn't say. It says balls. What?
Are you sure? Maybe it is bills.
No, because
that is an A. That is I read it because I thought that's what it would have to say. But if you look at that, that is clearly the word balls. It
is, and it brings up an interesting question.
So let me hear the question read appropriately.
Okay. What? I don't know if I can. Why are men after you get married don't share their now I see it's their THERE anymore.
Okay.
Why don't they share their? Is this some sort of colloquialism that I'm not aware of? Sharing your, what in terms of having sex? Is that what it means?
This brings up a lot of questions.
I don't know. It brings
I
a lot of questions.
I have not heard that as a analogy or whatever you want to call it for sex. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, is that just like share the ball because they don't play?
Oh, share the ball like in basketball. You're playing, and somebody who hoards the ball, they don't share the butt. And so it's not about sex in any way.
No, it's totally about their balls. I'm gonna say that right now. I just think we got a very twisted person here who was hoarded in a very, very strange way. You know what I mean?
That is,
yeah, honey.
What was life like before they stopped sharing?
You know, I mean, it's like, honey, you used to dangle those in front of me as a reward, and now I don't get that anymore.
I don't. Yeah. What happened, honey? What happened? You used to share them with me all the time, and now you just got them tucked up.
Which brings up the next question. If you were going to share them while you were before you got married, why wouldn't you share them after you
wearing the tight underwear again?
Are there married men out there not sharing?
No. Are you kidding?
That's just.
I
think they would be all over wanting
I think most married men are very liberal with their balls. Let's be honest about that. You know, I don't get it.
Yeah, so if it comes up to you, you're like, no, I'm not sharing.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. It never. First of all, it's never come to that.
No balls for you.
No, yeah.
Well, why are you sharing? Why is that? Is that a you? I guess it's a euphemism.
How do you share? I'd like to know how you share.
I don't know.
Like,
maybe she wants to get pregnant and he's decided not to have kids.
Yeah.
That he doesn't want to have kids. So he's wearing protection now.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you, speaking as a guy, it's not something that guys are just openly sharing all the time. You know, they're pretty personal.
They don't share with anybody.
Well, they're tender and they need protection.
I mean this as literally as possible. We're pretty, we're pretty connected to our balls.
And they need protection.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. We can't.
And they are sensitive. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. They're sensitive, they need protection. Yeah. So, but that is the weirdest worded thing that I swore it said Bill's.
I'm still trying to figure out how you share. If someone says, "Can you share?" and you're like, "Okay," then what are you doing?
That's why I think it's about getting pregnant.
It may be. This
inside that's important. Give me what's inside so I can have a baby.
Right. Maybe. That's reading real deep into that, Brad. I think.
Yeah. So you think it's just simple as he's not having enough sex with me?
I don't know.
Was that what that was?
What if it's a gay couple?
That could be.
Is that a thing?
Then it's like, I'm sharing my balls with you. Why aren't you sharing your balls with me? Come on. You don't even do the laundry in a
right. That's right.
Yeah, I get it. It might be the same
under a week. Maybe if you don't do your laundry in a week, you don't share the balls.
You don't share the balls.
There's no ball sharing. No ball sharing.
Today.
Who writes these?
I don't know, but these are great.
Okay. How do you keep, here's one you get all the time. How do you keep the spark alive when you have kids? First of all, share the balls. I think that's
share the balls and do the laundry.
That is as much spark as any marriage needs when there's kids right there.
Yeah. Actually, if you have the kids do the laundry, you'll have a little bit more time.
That's right. You'll have more ball sharing time. So
so there's that.
Well, there's an age where your kids are at a certain age where there's not going to be a ton of spark. You really have to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a youngness that the spark is anytime you get to lay alone and be asleep or something like that. So
that's not the spark. I think it has to do with having fun.
Yeah.
We forget, when the kids are young, we got so much stuff to do and we're working and taking care of the house and all, we forget to have fun. Because when you're having fun is when that spark happens.
Yeah. Well, and enjoy the time that you're with the kids and doing it together. Enjoy them screwing up.
What did you just say?
Time together? What?
No, that sounded bad. When you said we're with the kids and doing it together, I thought that was really
that's
not the way you get the spark back. No, you don't. But the thing about the kids is this is a very good question considering what's going on in our lives right now. I mean, because the kids are everywhere. They are home. They are around all the time. And I can see this being a bit of a problem right now because they're, a lot of times you'd wait, kids go to school, boom, I'm late for work, honey. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that kind of thing. But that's not happening anymore. How are you going to get away from these nosy little kids?
Yeah, during COVID, you're right. There's no getting away. You can't have time, and you can't send them anywhere, and you can't, you know what I mean? It's almost like I just had a thought. It's almost like you've got to make a plan to one person take the kids away and you spark yourself and then you switch.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about the
relay race.
The spark, guys, is like sometimes it's I don't know, sometimes it hits you when you just don't, you don't expect it. And to actually create that spark and find time for the planning, to me, is like the worst. It's like when you take if you have to take an ED medicine, it's like, oh, I'm going to take one this weekend, so we'll be ready. It's like, well, what if something happens? And it's like, or maybe you just don't feel like it after you take it. There's
pressure.
Guys say about that. Yeah.
Oh, hey, what is that like, Joe? When you is it possible when you take your ED medication that you don't feel like it? I have never taken ED medication, so I don't know.
Well, are you attacking my masculinity here, Brad?
No, I'm being serious. Is that what you're saying? I'm being serious with the fact that, and I don't mean ED medication as far as
but I mean the people
Viagra or
Cialis. That's exactly what I'm talking about, though, because those have to be taken in advance of the act, which means you have to kind of plan for it somewhat. Am I right?
That's right.
So what if it's like, hey, I think, I'm going to be pretty horny tomorrow night. I'm going to take a pill and then
share the balls.
Lord knows what could happen. Yeah. And then don't feel like sharing your balls.
You got to plan around it because you don't want to waste it. They're expensive.
They are expensive, right?
Is it that far ahead? How long? I thought you took Viagra like 20 minutes before you wanted to do it.
I don't know. I don't know these things.
I think they're
I think they're different. I think some of them you have to take I think they last like a long time, but
so you take it at least an hour or so before, and it can last 2 hours or something.
Okay. And I thought it lasts
more than 8 hours
all the time as a regular medication, and then you were ready more often.
Do I know of any like that?
I thought Cialis was that way.
I don't think so.
I think you can do. I think there's all sorts of different ways. I think they all come in different doses. I think they all come in different. They all do different things. Yeah. And
what about the pump that they can put in? You put in that pump and you reach under and you push it and it fills with air or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure that works really well. But my point is, as far as the spark, it's like it's really hard right now for people because your family's all together. They talked a lot about during this quarantine time how pregnant, how women were going to get pregnant, how the birth rate was going to go up because everybody's stuck together,
and it has.
I say it's going to go up as soon as the kids go back to school. That's what I say.
That it'll go up back then too. But a lot of people are now having babies right now.
They are
from March and April. They're starting to, as the hospitals are filling with people with COVID, they're also filling with people having babies that started in March. And I do feel for people who have young kids, not little babies during COVID, because they're more movable and you can leave. If they're asleep, they're asleep. But kids 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's a 24-hour a day. You never know. What you doing? And you cannot get rid of them. So you take the chance. Go give grandma COVID. Right. Okay, we can't take it. Just
what you doing? Oh, are you giving mommy a piggyback? Right? Yes, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're doing
that. Piggyback. Oh God.
Yeah, okay. We're wrestling, honey. We're wrestling, and apparently I'm pinned.
Okay. So during COVID, keeping the spark alive is so difficult. You have to do it, as Donna said. You have to share that happiness of everything together. You know what I mean?
You have to have fun.
And then do it in a closet when you get a chance.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Have you ever thought, if you have a walk-in closet that's through your bedroom, through the bathroom, then you can lock 2 doors that it'll take them to get through to get to you.
This is a real Vinnie Barbarino scheme you got going here, Brad.
Hey, you got to go up your nose with a rubber hose. Okay.
The boardwalk,
One more, and then we're going to do a commercial, and then we'll look at these things. Why do the dumbest people procreate?
Well,
I was just thinking about that the other day.
What were you thinking?
Yeah.
I was thinking about humanity and my disappointment. Humanity keep procreating, but
Well, that's why we keep having revolutions, and that's why great dynasties and civilizations end. That's exactly why. because all of a sudden they rise up because there's discrepancy between the people who have, who have their 8,000 kids and they're all, dirt poor and they're tired of it. And boom, we have a revolution. And then all of a sudden we're back to the Visigoths. So
let me ask you this in a sense. So is that why every so many years we have a huge virus that wipes out tons of people? And is it supposedly going to take the people who don't care or think or, that aren't working on the science, and then that helps get rid of some of the dumb people? And then what happens is because people just keep procreating and more dumb people procreate, so it gets more and more and more, and then there's some sort of virus that gets rid of.
So like there's way of weeding out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just making all that up, but
no, there are plenty. It's why do dumb people keep procreating? Because I don't know. Because they can't control the urges. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, but smart people can't control their urges either. It just is that
but they can afford contraception.
I think it's true. Less intelligence doesn't think ahead as much.
Yeah.
So they're just having.
Well, I hadn't thought of that. Go ahead.
Well, and using the word dumb, we're being mean spirited, but people who are lower socioeconomic, people who have more, they have
educated,
have more kids, uneducated, because first of all, having more kids means more of your kids may survive and you don't have as much to do, and you just have more kids, and you don't think more about the ramifications of what it's going to cost to have more kids. And, or like my grandmother's family, they had 10 kids because as soon as one's old enough, they're working already. You're out working, and you get more and more kids to work, and then they watch you as you're an older person.
But don't forget, God said to be fruitful and to multiply.
And they got to do that.
And they got to be fruity and multiply. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's enough of that. We're going to watch a guy play a flute. Hey, that was Gary Arbuthnot, and I played that because tomorrow night,
hey, Aqualung, go ahead.
Refuse to be there, but so many other people will be. It is a virtual comedy show, New Year's Eve edition. That was Gary Arbuthnot, who is one of the premier flute players in the world.
Obviously.
Beyond doing 4 different interviews, and we'll see 4 different sets of the amazing thing. He went to the London Academy of Music. He travels all over the world playing flute, except for recently, and we will interview. And not only that, we have comedians, not Joe, because he didn't want to come, but many other. I asked you. I sent you a thing. Do you want to come? Do you want to do a set? Do you want to do something?
I got things to do.
No, I knew you had things to do. So anyway, we've also got musicians. We've got bits. We've got jokes. We're going to do 4 hours. We're ringing every New Year's in from the East Coast to the West Coast with a different show each hour. So come to that show tomorrow night on Zoom, or you go to virtualcomedyshow.com to join the show, or you can watch on my page too. So that's a possibility. So, okay, how do I turn this off? Okay, let's turn that off. And I'm going to open up the other thing so we can do our thing, the parenting from before. Here we go.
Did you notice Brad has a mullet in that little cartoony thing?
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
A mullet in what cartoon?
This little heart-shaped thing with you and your wife, and you have like a major mullet going on.
Yeah, I saw that.
A major mullet. What do you mean? Yeah, oh yeah, no, that's
logo. Yeah.
No, that logo picture is our picture from 1992. It is, and my wife looked just like Paula Abdul at the time, and I had the craziest mullet on the planet Earth.
I win on the mullet. I win on the mullet so good that my wife has never ever let anybody see our wedding pictures, and she's hidden them because I have the most. I am rocking a mullet, man. And
I can't believe it unless I see a picture. So when you,
I'm thinking of bringing it back. I was one hot mullet fella. Let me tell you. Yeah. I also, in that picture you're not seeing, I was wearing 50 pleated pants with pegs on the leg. So it was, they had 50 pleats around the center. They looked almost like clown chinos.
Yeah.
That was a very good style.
Stop, Brad. The women are getting crazy.
The women are going crazy. Yeah. Okay. So here, what I have is parenting tips from every decade, starting with 1900s. And in 1900s, using acid as a nipple cleaner was that. Now, my question is, was it her nipples or the ones on a bottle?
And how many people clean their nipples on a regular basis? Is that a thing? I don't know. I mean, I clean them with the rest of my body. They come with the rest of my body. So,
well, and this does say advice on nursing. They say before feeding, they should wash their nipples with soap and water and rinse with boric acid.
This is for mothers so that their kids don't get poisoned by their dirty nipples. I get it. Okay. Yeah.
So they get poisoned by their acidy nipples?
Way back then, there was very few bottle feeding. It was
there was almost no bottle feeding.
Oh yeah. It's
bottle feeding is like the 60s. Okay,
breastfeeding is very natural. Yes, and that's how it way.
So if you and they do say, and they do tell you to clean your nipple before you are breastfeeding.
Sure.
Just because stuff.
Yeah, with acid.
That part I'm a little worried about because I heard just soap and water's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think soap and water, but man, that
steel wool to get it really clean.
Yeah.
Now this is
if you've ever tried breastfeeding, it can be very painful.
I bet.
Yes, it can be very painful. I've tried it, but not with children.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Hey, you know what? If you can't share the balls,
then clean your nipples. Okay, move on.
Okay. Now this is the thing with the Ferberizing and later a held baby is a spoiled baby. Unless you are feeding, changing, or diapering your baby, you are not to pick them up.
That was, I don't know what research that was, but just so you know,
leave them there. Just let wherever you feel like putting them down. Put them
down. Now the research says you can't hold them enough.
Yep.
I prefer that one.
They said you would be spoiled and little tyrants if your parents held you, even when they wanted to snuggle. So put them down, folks.
Self-esteem the narcissistic people started was right about here.
Well, and that's the same thing I tell people when a guy says, I'll slap you if it's hard out in the world, so I got to make this house hard and wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want it to be the opposite?
Yeah. This is why there were 2 world wars in the early 20th century. Yeah.
Okay.
Babies.
1920s, ignoring your child is the way to build good, strong character.
And
who the hell wrote this book?
These are tips from, this is from Behaviorist John Watson. And he's never hug and kiss them and let them sit in your lap, shake hands with them. So it's kind of more of holding the child, but it's even if you must kiss them, it must be once on the forehead would you say good night. So
don't love your kids. You don't want them to be wimpy. Don't love them.
But I think this is when Behaviorist John Watson was treated horribly as a child.
Obviously.
And he's just mad and jealous.
Yes.
And
my parents didn't kiss me, so you didn't kiss your kids. Yeah.
Yeah. 1930s, put your baby in a cage.
Yeah, that's still good today. Yeah.
We've got some contenders for the biggest baby too. Maybe these two were.
Well, they didn't ever let him out the cage. So
they just fed him in.
Be careful.
Throwing food in there.
I think we need an answer to this headline, which is for how long?
For how long? Weeks at a time.
Forever.
Yeah.
Well, here's my question though. We put our kids in cages. We just call them
cribs.
Yeah. Well, not cribs. What are those things? Pig pens.
Playpens.
Playpens. Okay, I think you said pig pens. Or a pig pen is too. Now, pig pens have big openings they can get through. But playpens and stuff like that. So we put them in cages. but will they stay in them? But these kids, when they're metal, they have to.
Yeah.
I have a book about a kid in a cage.
Yeah, that's
you do.
too far.
1940s, stop coddling boys. This is true.
You don't want them to be wimps, right?
You don't want a prissy boy.
No.
Because you actually gave him some sort of encouragement,
And what was that, 1940s?
1940s.
Yeah. Apparently, this author, Philip Wiley, said that, quote, American boys are the most prissy people on earth. Well, he doesn't sound homophobic or anything.
We're raising namby-pamby, princess ill-suited to the rigors of real life.
What is that lady doing in that picture?
Well, I don't know. She's trying to feed that baby, but that has nothing to do with what I think is that is so scientific. That's the kind of language you want to hear in a peer-reviewed journal. Namby-pamby, princess ill-suited.
What?
Well, here's what's funny.
Namby-pamby. Oh, it does say namby-pamby.
It does.
Yeah, and also, I tell you what, if I am going to read a book on parenting, the first book I'm going to pick up is the one titled Generation of Vipers.
Yeah, that's
what this is from. Yes.
Every generation is the worst.
I don't trust what he says anyway. He's a nothing.
Yes, he's nothing. Well, and I was going to say something really important. You guys made me just forget what it was. I was going to say this. There is opposite research that boys who have domineering mothers, and especially single mothers, end up being the prissiest and more nervous boys because their mothers are so overbearing and they're loud and they're trying to get their boy. You better be a man, and you better be, and that gives you just the opposite.
Yeah, that's not what they do, but they do they overprotect them.
Yeah, but no, there are a lot of mothers who are real hard on boys that are. Yeah, I know. Again, I think from my book.
Not being the fact that I don't have any letters after my name like you guys do, but I'm just going to say, if you have an overbearing, hard to please parent as a child, you're going to want to try and please that parent no matter what it is, no matter who you are. So that's hence the overreaction sometimes. So I'm just saying.
In the 1950s, they wanted you to bathe your baby 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Yep. Nothing, no time for anything else.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
Your baby all day.
And by the way, it says mothers were also counseled to roll their babies. Oh, in the 1800s, they were counseled to roll their babies in lard.
That's great. And put them in the oven at 350 for 40 minutes.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
That's 1960s, start solid foods at 2 days old.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Nothing like a burger when you're 2 days old.
Well, and they could eat bacon and eggs by 6 months, and they should have coffee and also get that terrible mother's milk out of their mouths.
Because this was the 60s. Mother's
and
milk.
Of course, the mom had a cigarette hanging from her mouth as she was doing all of that. Yeah. Well, the 60s, my mom smoked and drank while she was pregnant with me.
Same with me. Yep.
So that explains a lot, doesn't it, Donna?
Yeah.
That's like scary. That's scary. Baby can't even chew or anything. Like how?
Well, it actually says by solid foods, they mean cereal with the consistency of putty.
No.
So yeah, to make it even more palatable for your child.
Yes. No, that's 4 months. 4 months. Well, and my thing before we say this is the potty training thing, trying to force kids. They must be potty trained by 7 or 8 months. Put them on. No, you're potty trained if your kid's doing it. So 1970s, send your daughter to charm school. That was right. The 70s, we had a lot of skanky girls out there that needed charm.
Yeah. Yeah. Women were starting to become liberated then, and we needed to put the kibosh on that.
That's right. Yeah. They were awkward and gross, and they started burning their bras, and we needed to get them back in the home. Back
to charm school. Dang it.
In the 80s, babies sleep best on their stomachs. Yes. And then a lot of SIDS. Yes. Who said this?
Best with the
first 2 months
in the bed. So
there's no chance they will choke, says Nancy Koner, who hopefully is in jail now. Wow. 1990s, timeout should be super long. Remember that in the 90s when we didn't have kids till 2000s, but the spanking, everything's out, but timeouts like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Instead
of 2-year-old.
Yeah, for like a 2-year-old. When then it went to their age. It was like the timeout should be the length of their age. So it was 2 minutes or 4 minutes or stuff like that. Of course, giving a 2-year-old timeout's a little tough anyway. And in the 2000s, beat your baby with a rubber hose. Okay, I don't remember this.
No.
Wait a minute. What? Wait, whoa, I got to read this one. Michael Pearl is a Tennessee preacher. Why are we going to a Tennessee preacher for?
Well, this one's obviously a joke. I mean, he probably did this, but there's always going to be a nutbag in the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and of course, he was surprised with the deaths of 3 children by abuse.
Oh my God! Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He wrote a book
You have to be
about
a
it.
little careful on these books that you buy. Yeah.
Yes, please don't buy that book, everyone.
No.
If you have a choice, it doesn't want to go to 12. That's
No.
because I'm in the wrong place. Hold on.
Yes.
Only sick kids. Oh, this is one that bugs me that we do these days. Only sickos kiss their kids on the lips. Only sickos. It's like the whole Joe Biden thing. Because he has hugged children, because he puts his nose down on their heads, that makes you a sicko.
Yeah.
And now you can never be warm and close with a child in any way, and that just drives me nuts.
Well, I think a little bit of this has to do with the awareness of child trafficking and abuse, and I think that's probably just kind of a response to that everybody's being a little bit overprotective and everything. But you know what? It's kind of a shame. It really is, because I come from an Italian family, and geez, you know, we everybody kisses everybody on the lips. The guys kiss each other on the lips, even when they're grown up, when they're kids, everybody kisses everybody on the lips.
But we're to the point now you can't even
not now
hug a child at all. You can't even your own kids. If you're holding your own kids too long, we've gone. And the point is, we talk about all this child trafficking. Nobody's child is being taken off the streets. Child trafficking is the parent of that child, or somebody that they're involved with, or something. No one is driving down the street and picking kids up off the street. Your kids are safer now.
One, because there are, but it's most likely their family.
90% or more are people known to them, or kids in very bad situations, kids who are already being abused. The problem is now we've got, Karen up the street who makes $250,000 with her husband, who's got a 5-year-old, who's now has to call Tom Hanks a pedophile because everyone's coming after her kid and no one is. And that's the point. Those kids are not being taken in. No, 14-year-old girls.
I think that was a bit of a rant.
Your family's not being taken from the mall.
They are here. 14-year-old girls are being taken.
They're being led away from the mall, maybe.
Well,
they're not being ransacked and, they're being, 16-year-olds can be talked into stuff, and then they can get into situations that later, like, wait, this is not what I thought it was. But it's not just wholesalely driving up and throwing this kid in a van as they're walking down the street. That
happens, just not very often. Most of the time, it's the other thing.
Not like the 70s. The 70s, you could have been, kids are taken all the time by anybody. Any Buick, any dirty Buick.
Which is exactly why you had to beat them with a rubber hose.
That's right. That's why we did the rubber hose beating.
The thing with the kissing on the lips, though, and this came up in session, was like we're sexualizing young kids.
That's
even
terrible.
They're not sexualizing. Like they're not there. They're just kissing. They're just like,
right.
But we have sexualized them in our head. We're not letting them just be a kid.
Yeah, that's right. And when you start sexualizing any child,
I'd like to thank the music industry for that.
Yeah.
Or toddlers and tiaras or whatever.
Yeah, that kind of. Well, that's what I love is the toddlers and tiaras set sexualizing these kids, and then this movie comes out that is about sexualizing kids and how bad it is, and because it has a few scenes that show that and people being horrified, that's the bad thing. Even though we have all the tiaras and kids. So it's horrible, but
crazy world we live in right now.
It's a crazy world we live in right now, but we can't then use non-sexual things and treat kids badly and attack any man with that they're a pedophile just because you're mad at them for any reason. We're at a point in history.
Although I work in high conflict divorce, and that's what they do.
All the time.
That's probably
put that out there because they're mad.
Yeah,
they're mad, and everybody's got even though
tactic in divorce court. Yeah,
even though it's just not that prevalent. And when it is, you need to find people who are doing that, but you can see with the kids, what's happening with kids.
Wow.
Like, yeah, because I had, and I'm going to say it was in my family, but not in my family. It used to be violence. It used to be he's beating, he's violent, he's hitting me. And now he's proof. They just go with that and with no proof whatsoever. And it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts.
This show took a dark turn from.
It took a dark turn.
It really
did. Well,
I remember the old days when our biggest problem was sharing balls.
Yes, let's not connect those two, if that's okay.
No.
Okay. My God, really, we're taking next week off. That's all there is to it.
We have to.
After this, we have to take next week off. So, okay, where's the end of this show so I can play it and we can get out of here? Thank you, Donna Wilburn. Thank you, Joe Marlotti. Hey, everybody out there. I hope you have a great day. Have a happy New Year. And hey, Donna, have you gotten the vaccine yet?
Nope.
When do you get it?
I'm not, because I'm not in a hospital or anything. I'm just.
Oh, man. I need the vaccine so bad.
Yeah, I'm thinking about running for office just so I can get it.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Joe, you and I, as I've said, we are behind Times Square Elmos getting the vaccine. That's where we are.
Yeah, we are.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.